anxiety. I've got anxiety going on, so it's all right. Today, though, I want to talk about how I discovered my mental disabilities, the true diagnosis. And I wrote some notes down so I don't lag too much, I hope. So I feel like it started when my stepson moved in. At the time, he was 14. He has autism. I've lived with him for a good 13 years now. And so, because of his autistic traits that I could see, I saw some that were similar to myself. And at that point, um, I wanted to look into it. So yeah, I saw the similarities, such as our desire and comfort for isolation. That's always interesting. Uh, Personally, yeah, I love to be isolated. I used to say, "Oh, I'm the lone wolf," blah blah. You know, uh, our intense fixations on things that we really are interested in, and it's the abruptness of why it changes. It will be intensely fixated on one thing, and then it will change into something else, almost abruptly, if not, and some other traits too. I felt convinced that I had autism. Doing the online tests always come up positive in me. I know that they're not true validity. However, it does create an outline. There is an outline there. And I decided to get some testing for autism. I called a bunch of numbers that I got online, and I was determined to get tested. And so I just talk to them and tell them what I'm looking for. And all of them seemed to have the service, but not the insurance. Like they didn't accept my insurance until I finally found one. And it was a great experience. Um, so I found a place and I took my insurance. I paid for it 100%. And it was real, it was real testing. It was for like 4 hours of testing. And hey guys, hey everybody, thanks for coming in. And that testing changed everything. Um, it did 4 hours of testing with like mental puzzles and having to say random numbers, repeat them, having to do them backwards. It was a lot of mental trickery and stuff. Um, I loved it. I totally loved it. So you got here's the freaky part of with the doctor, with the psychologist. Um, the guy's name was Matthew, just like me, and he has the exact same birth date and year. And I'm just like, what? No way. And what a coincidence, right? The guy's exactly my same age, same birthday. Hey, Ghost. And I don't know if I get suspicious. It's just part of my brain. I get suspicious about that. And I was wondering if he did that out of to see how I would react. I like how many times you run into somebody, especially a psychologist you see for the first time. He's got the exact same name and birth date. So then I ended up accepting it. I believed he was true. And I got the results, and they were like 10 pages long. It was pretty thorough. It went over all kinds of percentiles. Uh, the one I remember being that I was in the top 5 percentile of seeing patterns or something like that. When it came to my evaluation of disabilities, the psychologist diagnosed me with ADHD and schizoid. It took me a while to accept the diagnosis of schizoid. I did, in fact, ignore it and decided to try medication for the first time for the ADHD. After trying a few different medications, each one I took at different time periods. Each one lasted maybe about 2 weeks. Uh, I didn't, I didn't like it, and it didn't affect me the way I thought it should. So I simply told my psychologist and psychiatrist, and they simply switched it. That's all. It was they ended it, and it was not a painful process at all. Now, the one that did help me the most was unfortunately Adderall, and I got prescribed that, and it seemed to really fix my attention deficit. And um, unfortunately, what it did was it put gasoline on my schizophrenia. See, schizoid is a um, lower gradient of schizophrenia. They're all connected, just like kind of like autism with uh, what they had as Asperger's. That was a different gradient of autism. Well, it's kind of the same thing. Schizoid is a higher form of uh, schizophrenia. But lo and behold, I actually have schizophrenia the whole time. And it was funny because on this medication, Adderall, it did create a lot of problems. And I'll get into that one point, not now, but it did. It created a lot of problems because it increased my manics, increased my manics. I was already manic on things, and hey Noah, and let's see. So I got off Adderall. I took it for about a year or so, and um, getting off of it was very difficult. Getting off of it was extremely difficult. It crushed me for a long time, and I was finally able to get back up and uh, be more effective in life. That is the truth. So then, I'm just looking at my notes. Sorry. It did get resolved. It was resolved pretty easily. Once again, I just reported what's been going on instead of saying everything's fine like I thought it was. Um, I my wife helped me understand like what I was really in and helped me see from the outside. And when I got properly diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, depressive type, um, and I looked all into that, and uh, got all of its um, it it answered all the questions I had about myself. It really did. I got understanding of as a child. Sorry. As a child, more like a teenager, why I behaved the way I was growing up, why I went through some of the difficulties growing up, and it really brought some stability to me instead of these false definitions from Dianetics, Scientology, which threw me the other way, gave me false information and false definitions. It's just a philosophy that is made. So, if you're over 18 and you love Scientology, great. Meaning, like, kids can't consent. Don't bring them to the Sea Org if really they're not 18 yet. But anyway, that was a little tangent on something else. But I also looked into my life and I saw my family tree, and I saw that there were similarities in my family. You have yeah, I'm fine. Thanks, Noah. I'm just doing an open live because I talked to my Scientology community, ex-Scientology community. I was in a cult, and this is a very therapeutic thing for me to do, is to talk to the group I was in, even if it's through a live. And I don't know if you know that. So in my own family tree, I did notice that there were some instances of dementia. Of I think my uncle had schizophrenia, and because we're so alike, and of course now when I look at all the traits and what I know now, I can definitely see him with some of those traits. And my father's side, which is the uncle, my father's side also, when the mother had dementia, Alzheimer's. So, oh, and my father has Parkinson's. So there's a good chance that I just might get something. So I'm getting it treated, and it's good because otherwise I would be a mess that I was before. It has helped a lot, and uh, along with spirituality for me, it works. It really does. I've had my struggles with spirituality, but today I feel content, and that'll be a new discussion another time. But yeah, I got the impulse. I'm an impulsive person. When it comes to creating something, I'll usually get a spike of creation and say, okay, I want to do it now. I kind of felt that impulse to do this video, this live, and you know, I've been working today, and hey, what's up, old golden era? And that's it. I just wanted to communicate and say hello and continue the story about myself, even when I feel pretty introverted and anxiety driven today specifically. But I'm not going to let it stop me. And it's hot outside. Thanks. Is there any comments, questions? Let me see. Let's see here. Yeah, the biggest problem I had with Adderall was I took too much, and I was given a small amount, which is proper. But because of my addictive personality, which I absolutely have, I took more than I was supposed to, and that led to the problems I talked about. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, you have ASD. I didn't know what ASD1 is. I didn't know they had numbers to it. Is that the autistic spectrum disorder? One. Does that mean Asperger's? Or, like, is that the higher functioning autism? Ah, okay. They put a number to it instead of a name. I think that's a smart move, actually. Yeah. I think it's a smart move by the Psychiatric Association, whoever did it, is that Asperger's is becoming a what's the word? A slang term. People have thrown it around like crazy, and it became hip. It became cool to be an Aspie. Oh, I'm an Aspie. I can act, Aspie even though I'm not. That has happened, and getting rid of that name and putting ASD1 is pretty cool. Yeah, yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, I have ADHD for sure, depression all the time, and anxiety once in a while, absolutely. It runs in my family. It is definitely in me, in my brain. Everything that Scientology taught me about psychology, psychiatry is completely opposite. It's obvious. Yep, they get three different. Yeah, I take two, and they're doing just fine. I've been doing these two for a couple of years now, and I really haven't had problems. The biggest problem I have with it, maybe, is it does make me sluggish at times, but that's fine. That is fine. It can make a. Yeah, okay. I was too. Yep. He feeds you that invented definition of reactive mind, and it gives you all the details to this invented definition, all these technicalities, until you actually firmly believe it and you can operate with it. It's kind of how anything works. And when you feel like that's the only way, and then you find out how evil psychiatry is, the way they divide their cult with truth has been pretty effective. It worked on me, but I've been gullible. I blame it on blame isn't a wrong word, but I attribute it to my condition, and that's a whole nother thing. I was, yeah, when I was on staff for 10 plus years, right? I would see several people with conditions. It's like a magnet for me, anyway. Like one who is neurodiverse, I feel can connect to like a magnet, little magnetic waves almost of another one who's neurodiverse, and I feel like this instant attraction to them, not in any bad way, just affinity for them, and they are somebody with a condition, and it's just an interesting perception. I don't really know what I was talking about that for, but um, Doing lives too is helping me therapeutically. I've never done therapy. Yeah, there definitely is. Absolutely. Some say it's spiritual. I don't know what it is. I would like to think it's spiritual. Um, I do believe in Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I do believe in God the Creator. um, you know, I don't even know why I said that. It's funny. I start getting on the concept and then I read and I'm thrown off. I'm sorry. Yeah, the open live chats are really nice because I get to have therapy. Jesus Christ with the Holy Spirit is a great comforter to me, and also my friends, my the people who've been through the same things, and that's great. It's how I feel. It's how I feel, and it's a true love. It's a love received as well. In in Scientology terms, it's actually a two-way communication, and it does blow people away. Hey, pup. Hey, so yeah, I just went over how I got my psychological evaluation, how I discovered it, and I think it's important to talk about, especially on recording, just to be live about it, because it shows more sincerity. Um, I had a lot of anxiety today, so uh, I may not look the best right now. Whatever, I don't think it matters. Uh, I think talking about it's most important. And it did. It feels good. And having you here, Pup and Golden Era, like, it makes a difference. Makes a difference. We're all going through this in our own ways. And, yeah. I think more damage happened to me on staff than even I knew. And that's kind of what I want to unravel. I want to unravel what damage has been done to me without inventing anything. I just want to examine, and the more I talk, um, the more I can unravel this. Hey, Sunrise. Hey, hey. Georgia, all right. All right. I appreciate you. Um, it'd be cool if any of you guys have questions. I'm not sure what to talk about right now. And but now that you're here, we should talk. Oh, that's cool. I feel like I don't look my best. I feel introverted. Um, but whatever. Hey, honey. Yep, that's my wife. Love her. I love you. Am I doing okay? Okay, well, my favorite song is, God, there's a lot. Nirvana was definitely my theme band in my teenage years. And we all know in teenage years how they stick with you. Come As You Are is a fantastic song. It's one of my favorites. I like all types of music, so not a big range, but I do like different types. And yeah, that's one. Color is always blue. I've been getting a strong attraction to uh, browns. I love brown. The different shades of browns. I love earthly colors. And foods, can't go wrong with pizza. A good pizza. And um, I was kind of spoiled growing up. I had good meat. I had good cooks. Both my parents were good cooks. My wife's an amazing cook. So I've been pretty spoiled with food. My wife's lasagna is definitely up there. Maybe just catch what some of you guys have been saying. Thanks, pup. I don't know how to highlight. Let me see. Um, no, I don't know how to highlight any names yet, but Pup Groomer, thanks. It says, I think what you have gone through is important to share, and how it affected you both mentally and spiritually is essential to that story. Thank you for that. Thank you for that guide. I, thanks, Golden Arrow. That's pretty funny. Uh, so let's see here. It is important, and I haven't been. Hey, Tiff. um, so I just had a thought. All right, let's see here. I'll just go to the questions. So Tiff 420, how long have you been away from Church of Scientology or Cult of Scientology? Um, we've been away. I've been away since the physical area. I lived in Boston. That's where I was intensely involved with Scientology as a staff member for 10 plus years and as a public for maybe 2 or 3 years. And I joined staff 3 different times. I joined, I failed, and then I leave, I row out, and then I go back in because I think it's the way to go, or I just want to be part of that group. So 3 different times, man. And I don't even know if they wanted me, to be honest with you, because uh, that's a whole different thing. So in 2011 is when I left the physical area, and I moved in Florida. And it wasn't until 2013 or 14 when I mentally, spiritually cut ties with Scientology. Um, it was almost instant. It's pretty interesting. um, I was already with my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, and I already knew she was Christian. I wasn't Christian yet. I was still a Scientologist, but passive. My wife let me be. She didn't enforce or push any of her ideas on me. Um, and I came to it on my own. And when it was time for me to cut ties, I had my wife to fall on. Like, I could tell her all about it. It was pretty cool. I know I'm rambling a little bit here. That's what I do. So in 2014, I think, or 2013, is when I spiritually cut ties with it. And there's a whole little story about that, too. It was the Lawrence Wright interview that I heard on the radio about the book. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So it was I was at work, right? And I was going to take my lunch break. I think I was doing a double. And I was sitting in my car with the AC on. And at the time, probably, probably smoking a cigarette. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. Thanks to my lovely wife. She's seriously helped me. And Also to vape. Vape helped me get rid of cigarettes. Anyway, um, so I have the radio on, and at the time I listened to talk radio, and I hear something about the book going clear, Scientology going clear in the prison of belief. I don't know what year that came out. I'm thinking 2013, 14. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I should listen to it because I still had that mental policing going on. And that's when I said, fuck it. I'm going to listen to this. I'm in a safe place, far away. I got no one around me who's going to. Awesome. And I listened to it and it impinged. Lawrence Wright talked very sanely, very straightforward, to the point, and I was like, man, this guy makes some sense. Um, hey, Janelle, let's see. Was there anything that helped you get deprogrammed? Mm, very honestly, Jesus Christ. I know that's a personal thing, and people have their own views and opinions of it. I have my own view of it, my own perceptions of it, and that really helped me get deprogrammed, to be honest. My wife helped me greatly to be deprogrammed because she would help me see when I was acting up Scientologically, when I was saying things in a Scientology manner or acting weird. Like, for example, when we were first going out, and I got Scientology programming on me, I would approach strangers pretty kind of close and just with tone 40 say something like, hey, do you know what time it is? Or it'd be very odd to the real world. And as a staff member, we all know that, we get trained in that hardcore, especially if you're out body routing. You get this whole TR or tone 40 crap, uh, guiding somebody somewhere. It's crazy. It was effective, but it was not very needed or normal in the real world. What else deprogrammed me? Um, hmm. Honestly, those are the two main things right there that I can think of right now. After this chat, I'll probably remember stuff. But for right now, that's what I remember. There's another question I wanted to get. Uh, yes, I do have animals. Animals are amazing for me. They are very therapeutic. I have two incredible cats. One of them's not that affectionate, only when he's sleeping. And the other one is my other cat is very affectionate, amazing hunter, and she's extremely therapeutic. And I have a dog. Um, I don't know the names of these animals. Unfortunately, I haven't hyper focused into animals. I really don't know. But he's a mix. He's gorgeous. One day I'll show him. Nice. So my wife says, thank you. This Chanel is to help and break people free of the cult. Give love. All right. Let me see here. How did my wife and I meet? Honestly, that should be made for a separate live. I think it's really cool. Very nice. It's so great that my wife is getting love. I love that. She deserves a lot of love. She'll be on with me. I talk about it with her often. Hey, let's do something together. And it's not that she doesn't want to. It's just that we have to plan it. We have to get it together. Uh, That's all. Like right now, she's out. Let's see. Any other questions? Hey, Cricket. I've heard about you. I've heard your channel's great. I need to subscribe. Thanks for posting. And I will get you. What am I up to now? I'm sitting in the porch area and I got my notebook. And I've got my haiku book. And I just having fun talking with y'all. It's kind of it's up to the audience. um, Let me see here. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I didn't understand. It's, I guess you call it blue collar work. It's labor work. And I have a cool crew that I work with. I'm just one of the laborers. I'm not a boss. That's the way I like it. I like it low. And that's cool with me. That's much I can handle. I could handle more, but I've been like this my entire life. I've had many different jobs, and it's always been in a lower position. Um, oh yeah, I've heard that name. Yep. It's funny. Um, and I load and unload trucks, and I do all kinds of stuff like that. Uh, and if it was, I'm really happy what I have right now. Like, I laugh every day. When I go to work, there's always a laughter. There's always, you gotta work hard, you gotta work, what's the word? For lack of a better word, you gotta work physically, you gotta work fast. And it's nice, especially at my age at 49. Having that keeps me keeps me healthy. I should be healthier, but it keeps me healthy. Um, so yeah, that's what I do. Nothing super yet. Maybe one day I'll be a paid writer. One of those dreams, fantasies. My biggest opponent is my own procrastination and my own perfectionism of stuff. But I can get around that. And also, yeah, I can get around it. Oh, that's cool. Wow. That's cool, man. That's really cool. I see. I really appreciate those who work in blue collar. It is a different lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. I just feel like things are more appreciated. What do I know, though? I've never really been rich. So it's like, yeah, we are our worst enemies for sure. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Yeah, procrastination is pretty bad for me. I've had projects that I've wanted to get done since 2009, and I'm still sitting on them. I've got this haiku book here that I did do, but then I just got away from it because I didn't have confidence in it. I was too perfectionist, too much of a perfectionist. And actually, though, in I did find a typo which bothered the hell out of me. So my wife wants me to re-release it, and I might just do that. So you get to see the first original copy, which was done in 2015. I do want to revise it and have it groomed and cleaned up. Or maybe I should just make a new one, you know. Uh, hmm. Let me see here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, look, typos happen. As soon as you see a typo that's not yours, you're like, they're gonna be, they could typo, and the person just looks at it with like sadness and disgust, like, oh my god, how could I let this go through? Let me see here. Speaking of perfectionism, do you find that it was instilled in you during your time in Scientology, or more of a personality trait that you naturally had? Definitely a combination of both. I get perfectionism when I see a deep concept that I want to portray, and I do so. I chisel it out. I feel like it captures the concept I'm trying to portray. Moment later, or next day later, I see it and I go, oh, I know there's another way to actually make it shinier, to make it sharper, to make it really stand out more. And I'm doing that for myself. And I don't think it's caused more problems than anything. And you know what, though? That makes sense. It's true, honey. Thank you for saying that. It's true. I read it 100 times, and I still never saw the typo. Oh, so just to fully answer the question, Pup, is I would definitely have my own perfectionism installed into it, instilled. But Scientology pushed it with, um, you see, I have a natural rebellion, and that actually has to do with my ADHD as well as other factors. But when I say natural rebellion, it's like I will be repulsive towards things that I don't want in my space. And maybe it's different than other people. And I kind of got lost in what I was saying. Again, I read comments and they're beautiful and they take my attention. Thank you, Golden Era. Yep, my wife is my biggest champion. Um, oh, yeah, so um, Scientology didn't really make me more, did not make me more of a perfectionist. Definitely not. When I was on staff, I was less of a perfectionist. They don't want perfectionism. And I'll tell you, this is coming from me, my own opinion. When it comes to on staff, I'm not talking about an auditor. I'm not talking about tech training stuff, but you got to write letters. You got to write 100 letters in a day or whatever it is. And you better write them. Are you going to really take your time? No. And we'd always be shown the stupid Elmer and Hubbard policy about how to write a letter. Nobody could do that. If you had time, you could. But you have to grab a bunch of folders from central files, and a huge stacks over and over again. More than half of them were address unknowns. More than half. And you just write to the same people who've been written to over and over the years. It was ridiculous. And body routing and things like that, and book selling, that is. Hey, Miss Sunshine, thank you. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you. Um, let's see what I was saying here. Um, Anybody remember what I was saying? Sorry. Let's see. Well, I do want to say, now that we're talking live, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable being in front of the camera. And, oh, body routing. Yeah, that's right, body routing. And thank you, Tiff. Yep, I did the writing of letters, and then I was also good at the body routing, and you had to have persistence on that. But it's a different persistence than perfectionism. You know, having persistence, forced persistence, like you better meet your quota. Get back out there in the freezing cold, or get back out there in the rain, their umbrella. We need those stats up. Some crazy shit, you know. But sometimes it was adventurous, I have to admit. I did like it sometimes. Sometimes it was just cruel. And so yeah, I think I answered the question anyway. I think I've always been internally with that perfection. Scientology didn't really push me to being having perfectionism. They more pushed me to just get a product and have persistence. Alright, so let me see here. Awesome. I'm having fun answering questions. If there's anybody else who would like to ask something. Are there any details about my how I got into the correct diagnosis of my mental health? That's a big step for me, especially coming from Scientology. That's a weed whacker in the background. I hope it's okay. You guys tell me if it's okay. Is the weed whacker too much? How's that weed whacker? Is it too much? Thank you. An overcomer, yeah. And I'm becoming one. I'm becoming an overcomer with the help of all of you. Doing these lives is helping me become an overcomer. It's as if these lives with you right now, all here, it's like your rope and your help pulling me up out of the muck that I've been in. Stuck muck of Scientology's past. And it's nice to clean it off. It really is. Yeah, pup, so let me see here. I just want to look up. Okay, so pup, just to kind of add to what you said, you've always been fascinated by the characters and personality traits that the Church of Scientology searches out in people. Weed eater is fine for me. I'm not sure. I think I could tell you they absolutely love naive young people, young college kids. who don't have the experience to know what a cult is, don't have the experience, and want experience on their own. They want experience on their own. They want to be adventurous, so they go, hey, let me check out this spiritual path, this spiritual adventure. It's kind of, I can just tell you how I felt, but I've seen it as a staff member, the new hirees, and they're soon disappointed and they leave. They don't last. Maybe a few. And I have definitely seen Scientology benefit from those with neurodiverse minds because they take things on another level. They I've seen them usually in lower positions. Yeah, yep. And I've seen them in usually lower positions because they're easily controlled. They get they're good at one thing, or they're good at hyper focusing on one thing, and they believe the whole story of Scientology as far as they can know about. And I think the other one they like is the bone breaker. The one who can break your spiritual bones. And yeah, they go in with excitement. Yeah, that's that's interesting. Yeah, narcissists. Yeah, that's it. I definitely knew one, two there. Yeah, they're nasty, nasty. Um, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Well, it's 52 minutes. Um, I can go on for another 5 minutes if you like. Um, Let me see if I missed anything. Oh, so TIFF 420. How did you take the steps to finding out about your mental health? The steps I took, I think I talked about it earlier in this live, on the replay. You can hear it, but I'll say it again, no problem. Is I got clues of my mental disability through my stepson, who is autistic, who is ASD1. It's a new term I learned. And um, characteristics like hyperfocusing, like preferring to be alone, isolation, things like that. Um, yeah, thank you. Being artisan, an artisan. And I saw those traits that I had, and I'd never been introduced to really what autism is. I think if I knew that at a younger age, I would have been diagnosed, or at least accurately, with something. And what I later found out too was how, in the past, autism was considered a part of schizophrenia. It wasn't until later that it got delineated and separated because there was there's more substance to their differences on the spectrum. But then they separated schizophrenia with autism. Yeah, it's something to be acknowledged, and it's a blessing and sometimes a curse, and that is the way it is. Life is like that. I just like with my schizophrenia, it's a blessing and a curse. Even being, uh, I don't know what they call it. Anyway. Hmm. Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, Kathleen. Cool. Um, Hey, right. Yes, it's still there. I don't know why it went out, but it did. And I had to figure it out on the spot. So, I'll probably say goodbye. Thank you. Hey, let me give you a haiku before you all go, if you want. Would you guys like a haiku? Alright, I'll give you a haiku. Imagination. When you can't get what you want, create it through thought. Imagination. When you can't get what you want, create it through thought. Alright, God bless y'all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for everything. Bye.